Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Cake Eaters Avalanche podcast, joining you live after another extra time W for the Avalanche. This time they didn't need a shootout; they just got it done in overtime. If I'm not mistaken, I believe. Let me just back check myself here. I believe that's the first game they've won this season after trailing in the third period. Let me see. Okay. Technically, the Blues, they were losing in the third period, but not at the start. Um, Washington, obviously not. Carolina, North Carolina game. No. Sorry, I should have done this before, but I completely forgot. Yes. I'm just gonna say yes, and I feel confident in that answer. This is the first game the Avs have won this year, when trailing going into the third frame. It was very similar. I don't know. It was similar to the Islanders game. The Avs had uh, dominated possession and actual shots on goal. This one was a little bit different. They weren't nearly as dangerous, and they weren't, absolutely dominant offensively like they were against the Islanders. Um, this was something that I don't know. I noticed kind of. Oh my god. Um, in the late second and third period after Lehkonen's goal, I just didn't find the Avs to be very dangerous, and the stats kind of back that up. High danger chances were only 10-7, so like this was more of like a Carolina Hurricanes game. The Avs weren't, kicking. They were. They were the better team. Don't get me wrong. Obviously, they were more dangerous and dominated possession, but they weren't quite. Like they weren't like Jake Allen didn't entirely rob them very much. Let me look really quick here. Let me change it to all. Yeah, 0.76 goals saved above expected. That's fine. That's not like anything to really write home about Jake Allen. This is something I kind of noticed. Like one of the Avs' most dangerous chances, they didn't even get shots off, which was the biggest problem. They were getting in their own way a little bit too much. They weren't, getting goalied or like unlucky. They just couldn't. I didn't find their puck control to be uh super impressive tonight. But I'll get into the recap and then we can talk about that. Today we got chocolate cake because this was the last one left in the box. My God, it is absolutely huge. They look like actual sponges. Like this cake looks like an actual sponge. So whatever. Elegant. Yeah. Give me a second. I'm chewing. Nom, 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 nom. Okay, so let's get into the recap. So another slow start for the Avs. Lovely. They, Evan Crossbar Rodriguez. Evan Rodriguez ripped one off the crossbar like 10 seconds into the game or something like that. Absolute rocket. And coincidentally, it was also EJ's best play of the game. And that's like meant to be saying something, but it's not because it was a really dope play. But for some reason, that didn't go in, and that just absolutely rattled him. I felt like I was not impressed with EJ tonight. But yeah, and then it was very similar to the Sabres game. The Avs started that game with really nice chances, but then they just, EJ gets caught sleeping. I guess kind of Sam Girard does too, but Richard comes from that off wall where he's supposed to be EJ's guy, and EJ just doesn't pick him up, which is when you're as fast as EJ is at this age, just not good enough. So yeah, he beats Georgiev. So this is one of those shots where I'm like, you want to save there because I mean it's close enough into Georgiev's body that he should be able to get that elbow down there. But I mean, he's in tight and he shoots it right above his pad. I don't think it's like I'm not gonna like, especially considering this is Georgiev's second goal given up in 2 games. I'm not gonna be like, oh my god, what are you doing? Like I'm like, you'd like a save there, but I mean, to me, that goal really comes down to the defense just not doing their job. And the defense, namely being Erik Johnson. But pretty much after that, I mean, it was a slow start for a few more minutes. The Canadiens got quite a few high danger chances. I mean, that period was their highest of the game. They had 4 compared to the Avs 3. But then after that, the Avs really started to pick it up. They were pretty dangerous for the rest of the period. They were possessing the puck well. They were doing good things. That was a really nice latter half of that period. Then the second period rolls around, and the Avs started off really, really well. I think that was probably their most dangerous portion of the game. Well, apparently I'm wrong. Maybe. No, yeah, that was their most dangerous portion of the game was in the second period, at the beginning of the second period. But it was not good enough to beat Allen. He made one nice save on O'Connor, which I was like, yeah, I mean it's a nice save, but O'Connor literally I think I don't think Jake Allen is selling that shot like the doing the windmill save or whatever. I don't even, what does it even call it? Pad stack, that's it. To stop O'Connor, but O'Connor doesn't like I think if he just stayed on it in a butterfly, I think he would have just taken that to the chest. He would have been more than fine. Oh well, obviously didn't matter in the end, but at some point these guys got to start finishing. Like these aren't like AHL, Anton Bleed, Jason Megna, where you're like, okay, look, this guy isn't going to be on a regular roster. Logan O'Connor needs to score those goals, and Valdichuk needs to start scoring some goals because he's playing super well, and he's like getting good shots off. It's just for some reason when he gets in tight with the puck, he just kind of like, I don't know, just he's been struggling to get shots on net, which is evident in the second period when there was a puck that landed like right in front of him, and he just didn't even get a shot on net. And I felt like that was where the Avs mostly kind of hurt themselves. I don't think they made life as easy on themselves as they could have. I don't think they played bad. Obviously, they won and they were really good, but just the Canadiens, I will give them credit. I thought they played a good game. They were definitely really nicely structured defensively. They were keeping a lot of Avs shots to the outside. They were kind of trapping it up in the neutral zone a little bit. I don't watch enough of the Canadiens to truly be able to say, okay, this is how they always play. But I mean, given their record, I'm assuming this is one of, even if it is the style they normally play with, I would assume this is one of the better games they have played in said style. So I think they did a good job of that. Jake Allen looked really good tonight. I thought, I don't think this was one of Georgiev's greatest games. He was a little bit scrambly, but outside of the breakaway, which is a breakaway, he made the saves that you wanted him to. And, he had a shutout last game, and again, he only gave up 1 goal. So is it really that big of a deal? No. I was talking about this with some people. I'm not entirely sure if you play him against Nashville. Because if you do, then Frankie is going to have not played for a long time. And like you want, but you also want Georgiev to play as many games as possible. They play Arizona after the break, so maybe, I don't know. We'll see what they do there. Obviously, did Frankie hasn't played against Nashville this year. It's been it's been playing Georgiev both games. So I wouldn't be surprised to see him play tomorrow, just to keep him hot. But maybe, I don't know. We'll see. That's not important right now. And it's really, honestly, just a non-starter of a conversation just because I have literally no idea. This one of those things that a goal that, like, I just don't know, not being Jared Bednar and not being in that room. Anyways, so the Avs do get the first power play of the game in the first period, and this is where JT Compher showed, this is why he's not really a top 6 player. He loses the faceoff, which he did a lot tonight. I'll actually pull up. I am interested in this. I don't typically look at faceoff stats because I don't think they mean very much, but and I know JT Compher isn't historically a very good faceoff guy, but it was just not impressive for me tonight. Whatever, I'll just do it on my phone. But yeah, I mean, they finally and he just couldn't, again, was not a fan of him on the zone entry, so they struggled a few times, but then they finally got it going. He realized that rimming the puck around worked pretty well. And I agree, and I wish he'd realized it sooner. But that was a smart, I will give him credit. That was smart by him to read the play like that. So, yeah, let me just face-off percentage. Okay, well, he was at 50%, so that's not that bad. I mean, Ben Myers was at 70, Alex Newhook was at 100. I don't know how many face-offs he actually took, but whatever. I guess it just felt like he was losing more of the key situation, the situational face-offs that you want him to win. Like, he loses the first one to start overtime. Anyways, after, like I said, after I didn't think they were going to call a penalty probably the whole game. I didn't think the refs were bad up until that point. I was like, look, they're just letting two teams, they're letting them play. I thought it did distinctly, I did think it gave an advantage to the Canadiens just because, the Avs were playing with the puck more, so inherently the Canadiens are just going to probably get away with more. And that's what kind of frustrated me later. But early into the third, the Avs get another power play, and Arturri Lehkonen scores against his former team, the Montreal Canadiens, and ties it up. A great shot from the slot, left him wide open. The Avs get a shot from a dangerous area, and look what happens. They score eventually. Let me check the heat map here. Like, this is the thing. I mean, there's just, this heat map is interesting. But both goals were like from the same place. I feel like there's a bit too much from the perimeter. There's a nice red spot down low, so it wasn't that bad, but whatever. Anyways, let me continue. So third period, I thought was pretty similar to the second half of the third period. I thought the Avs controlled possession pretty heavily. They just weren't very dangerous. In the third period especially, I got worried because they just were, if it reminded me of the third period against the Sabres, they just weren't they weren't controlling the puck well. They were like, there was a lot in this game as a whole, there was a lot of passes that were going back and just to no one on defense when there wasn't anyone there. Trying to pass through sticks, it just wasn't working. Just a lot of passes being broken up, and that's where, I mean, it's partially, the Canadiens made good plays to break up those passes, but the Avs have to do a little bit more. They're a skilled enough team that they need to be able to make more competitive plays and, make those passes. Eventually, the Canadiens get one of just like, if you were to look at this call, you'd be like, that's a makeup call for sure. Because, Dennis Malgin, who kicked ass tonight, taps, was it Jacaj or Goulet on the hands? I don't remember which one. And it was like, someone would, I'm surprised no one said, oh, well, they'll always call it when it's on the hands. Because I'm like, look, they just don't. That's just a lie. there's been like 50 other times in this game that they just don't call that. And it's like that one, because whoever had the puck wasn't even fazed by it. He didn't lose the puck. His stick didn't change. He just tapped him on the hand, and the ref was looking for it because he knew the Canadiens, he needed to find any penalty for the Canadiens. And look, that's just how the NHL is. And I think it's dumb, but it doesn't matter because the Avs killed it. So whatever. It could have been really upsetting, but I would have found this more upsetting if that happened in like the Islanders game as opposed to this one. Just because I feel like, not that the Avs deserve to lose this one. It's just they weren't as deserving to win this game as the Islanders game, They weren't as dominant and dangerous. So anyways, the third period continued on pretty much the same thing. Not a lot of danger. And then in overtime, I mean, it was possession hockey. Cale Makar took a nice rush. When will he ever score again? I don't know. Like, I don't know. I'll talk about Cale Makar in a little bit. But anyways, Cole Caulfield makes a great play on Mikko Rantanen. I mean, you might want to, I know Mikko Rantanen's a big dude, but, Cole Caulfield has speed and he comes to the outside. And, I mean, Rantanen makes, a competitive enough play on him. And he's got a guy back supporting him. It's not like it's an odd man rush. What the hell does that mean? So whatever. Georgiev makes a great pad save and the puck just lays there. And Mikko's like, oh, I'll just take that and I'll just leave. And like, I don't know what happened. Why I think one of the other Canadiens crashed the net too hard. And one of the Canadiens crashed the net. And Mikko just kind of deked him out. Georgiev wasn't really set. I was like, oh. And then him and Taves had numbers. Really smart play by Mikko to pass that puck to Taves first, because he recognized, I'm pretty sure, I know Mikko was for sure on his one-timer side. I don't believe Taves was. I'll have to, I'm really bad at knowing teams' hands, players' hands, so I'll give it a check really quick. Devon Taves is, why won't you tell me he shoots left? So yeah, no, he was on his, not his one-timer side. So it was a smart play by Mikko to give it to him. Gives him a little bit more flexibility. He doesn't get a one-timer though. He collects it and he makes a really nice no look. He's looking at Devon still and he rips it 5-hole, which is a smart play because he froze the goalie. Made him think he was going to pass it, and he didn't. Kind of just powered it through. Allen got a bit of a stick on it, and he checked it afterwards. But anyways, Mikko stays hot. The only guy who can continue to score goals for the Avs. But yeah, so let me break this down a little bit. So, I mean, I think I wasn't a huge fan of Cale Makar and Devon Taves tonight. I thought their puck decisions weren't very strong. I didn't like they were just not doing, I just wasn't a fan of what they were doing with the puck. Makar had some really nice shots, but I thought some of his passing wasn't great. It continues to be the same thing. I think Cale Makar's been really good defensively. I just don't think, I know he's shooting the puck a lot. And I mean, you could make an argument that some of these shots are going in, but I just don't think he's putting up the dangerous amount of shots, like the dangerous shots that we've seen him in the past. I don't think he's picking corners very well. Something's just a little bit off. Hopefully, maybe the holiday break kind of fixes that. Maybe if he can get one in Nashville, and then just maybe reset and then keep going, that'd be fine. But I don't think he's been bad offensively. I think he's, we'd be seeing him getting more points if this team could finish a little bit better. It's a little disappointing, but hopefully it'll even out soon. I don't think he's been bad. I just think the offense hasn't quite been at the level that we've liked to. I think Nuke was great again today. Great defense. He made one stupid play in the first period that almost ended up in a goal. but that was it. He's got to score at some point. He's shooting the puck well, and he's driving the net, and he's forechecking like Valeri Nichushkin forechecks. Like there's a point where I just don't have to say it anymore. You just know this is what Valeri Nichushkin is going to bring, and he does, and he did. So yeah, I really like that line of Newhook, Nichushkin, and Rodriguez. Rodriguez make a really stupid move in overtime where he tried to go between his legs. It's nice to see him get some confidence. I'd like to see him shoot more instead of trying to do something fancy before shooting it, but because he's got a really nice shot. But I like the confidence. That line works well, and I'd like to see that stick once at least McKinnon comes back. If they really start to gel, like, and really start to produce, then definitely you can make an argument for maybe sticking them together when Landeskog comes back. But we will see. I thought Englund and Hunt, this is one of their best games. I really like Brad Hunt. The way that dude shoots the puck is just mind-boggling to me, given his size. You see Sam Girard shoot the puck, and you see Brad Hunt shoot the puck, and they're very similar sizes, and at least to my eye. And one of them shoots it a hell of a lot harder. I thought Girard, actually, speaking of Girard, I don't know. People have been really hard on Girard. I think the expectations are like getting too high or something. I'm not entirely sure. I don't think he was bad tonight. There are a few plays he made with the puck where I was like, "Oh, Sammy, what you doing?" But he's doing these spin moves on the blue line. I don't think he works well next to Eric Johnson because EJ has games like these where he's just a moron. EJ just loses brain cells some games. Like there was a play in the third period where Sam went to pick up the puck, and he was like, every time Sam goes to pick up the puck. And I understand that's not like an excuse, but Sam also got to the puck first, and EJ just body checked him. I'm like, what are you doing? You played with this guy enough. You know this. There were a lot of bad things that EJ did that I think kind of brings Girard down as well. Sorry. I think we're going to start to see some improvement, especially as these other defensive pairs get back. He continues to be very good on the breakout, which is the thing he's best at. It's something that analytics don't often, show, which is, I think, detrimental to him when people analyze him. I think Ben Myers continues to click along. This is a weird game for the first line. I wasn't a fan of JT. Clearly he wasn't awful in the faceoff circle, but I wasn't impressed with him. He had some nice shots. Lehkonen was fighting the puck a little bit until his goal. He wasn't incredibly dangerous as a player outside of that. So, yeah. But I thought Mikko played really well. I think Mikko played well. I think it's not as good as he has been, but I think he was, he was really feeling he needed to be the hero tonight. And I mean, it didn't cost the Avs anything. Really, I was just frustrated with it because they were just losing possession, but it wasn't like creating odd man chances against. He wasn't lazy by any means. I think, in fact, some people are like, well, he needs to moose harder. And I'm like, I think he was moosing too hard. There were times where he was just like running into dudes when he had the puck. I'm like, stop. Don't do that. All right. God, just take the puck and go. He had 6 shots on goal again tonight. I don't think he's been any stretch of bad. It's kind of nuts because he's been so good. He'd be even better if any of his teammates could score a goal to help him out. Evan Rodriguez had 7 shots on goal tonight. That's nuts. It's kind of been the same thing. A little bit more disappointed in Taves and Makar. I think, and they weren't bad. They were just not as good as you'd like them to be, but we'll see. This 3-day break will definitely be big for them because they play so many minutes. And it's not just the minutes, it's like the pressure that comes along with it. Because it's not just, they're just getting minutes, like just, they're rolling out whenever. They're getting like big time minutes, they're getting minutes against top competition, defensive zone face-offs, offensive zone face-offs. It's a lot. So yeah. I mean, I thought it was a good game for the Avs. Kurtis Macdermid, please play him more. Like, look, I understand I might be alone. I'm on a little bit of an island by myself. Look, we can all agree Kurtis Macdermid is a fine forward. I feel like there's a point where we have to agree on that because, I mean, this is the thing is that everybody's like, well, he doesn't trust him. Clearly, he doesn't. I wish he did more because, dude, the way that guy hits people is just, he will hit anybody. And like, I understand, grit is like something that people overblow sometimes, but finishing your checks when you're that big is something that makes an impact on a game. The physical presence of Kurtis Macdermid is, I think, a little bit overlooked because his skill and his profile doesn't really match the Avs. And I think people give him a bad rap for that. I don't think he should be playing. I don't think he should be playing massive minutes. Maybe not even double digits unless they're like winning by a bunch, but like play him more than 3 or 5 minutes, like play him like 7. I think 7 or 8 is like the sweet spot. I feel like not only are you running some of these other guys into the ground a little bit more, but like, McDermott can cause stuff to happen. Like hitting dudes causes turnovers, and he's good at doing that. Like there was the play in the second period where like he doesn't have any sort of like speed. He's not like coming in hot. The dude still has the puck, and he just absolutely lays into him. It was a heavy hit. I would like to see him get more minutes because I think he deserves more. Martin Kaut especially deserves more. Now, the only problem is that, I'm not going to advocate for promoting him just because so many other guys have been good, but he deserves more minutes. He shouldn't be getting played 5 minutes a night. It's just kind of ridiculous. Playing your third line a combined less than 10 minutes, it's just bad. It's just bad line management. You're going to, you're going to run into a wall at some point. Like, I understand, look, you were down in this game, but like you were down to a not very good team by 1 goal in a game that you were dominating possession wise. And all of these guys had good underlying numbers. So I don't know really what you want. But whatever. God, Andreas Englund? No, wait, okay. He had 6 individual Corsi fours and 1 shot on net. Oh, good Lord. But now let me get into Denis Malgin. He made his debut for the Avs today. He played exactly how you want him to, as many times as he possibly can this year. If he can do this every game, absolutely fantastic. He probably can't, but he was playing with speed. He was making smart reads. I really liked the line of him, Myers, and O'Connor. If any of those guys could score some goals, then it would be an absolutely great third line. But I doubt the only guy I really expect to do that is Ben Myers. But yeah, Malgin shoots the puck. Like, I mean, I liked Dryden Hunt, and I didn't think he was as disappointing as other people did. But it was definitely clear today that he seems like an upgrade so far. He's faster. He finishes his checks. He forechecks hard. That penalty was soft and crap, and I don't think he got benched afterwards, but I did see him a little bit less. So, and that's the problem with those penalties is you're encouraging a guy to not play hockey the right way. And there was nothing wrong with the way Denis Malgin was playing hockey tonight. He wasn't playing like that. Penalty is just a bad message to send. And that's my big problem with it is that you're sending a message for the first 50 minutes of the game that, look, we're going to let you play hard hockey. We're going to let some of this, smaller stuff go, and then you all of a sudden turn around and you're like, ha, you thought shouldn't have drawn so many penalties now, should you have? But yeah, if he keeps this up, he'll be a great addition to the Avs bottom six. Unfortunate. Well, I think he is a much bigger roadblock in the way of a guy like a Martin Kaut or a Ben Myers to stay in the lineup, which is a problem. For Myers more specifically, I just don't think they're going to give Kaut the proper opportunity. But I think Myers deserves it, and he makes a good impact on this team. So it'll suck, barring an injury, because with a fully healthy lineup, he's probably the odd man out, which isn't great for his development, and it isn't. But I mean, it's not like you're picking the wrong person, depending on how Dennis Malgin continues. So yeah, we'll do my disappointing player and the 3 stars really quick. So disappointing player, I kind of already alluded to that. Erik Johnson made so many stupid plays in his own zone. I didn't think he was awful offensively. There was one time where he dumped the puck when he had a clear passing lane to Girard, and I'm like, what are you doing? That was something I did think the Avs struggled with. I think they were a little bit too content to dump the puck. Montreal's, especially their defense, doesn't quite have the speed to keep up with the Avs. So if they use their speed a little bit more, I think they could have gotten a little bit more dangerous. But that's okay. Yeah, just dumb plays. He slid way too early on like a Drouin chance that Sam Girard covered for him on. Yeah. 3 stars of the game. I'm going to go. It's hard because if I'm not mistaken, Mikko had the assist on Lehkonen's goal. Oh, Makar in the assist too. Okay, that's good. Boy, 3 stars. I'll give one to Evan Rodriguez. I thought he was going tonight. I would give one to Georgiev, but he didn't have to face a lot. I mean, he made some nice high danger. I mean, what was it? He saved 8 high danger chances in total, and that's not bad. It's just not, I thought Evan Rodriguez was a little bit more impactful offensively. I think he was a little bit more willing to go to the center of the ice and create more dangerous opportunities. At the 2nd star to Arturri Lehkonen. Good goal, but I just didn't think he was quite as dangerous as Mikko was throughout the course of the game. And Mikko obviously scored the game winner. So props to him. It wasn't the prettiest of shots, but if you dissect it a little bit more, you see that it's such a good goal. He's so good. I was complaining about him a little bit, but that wasn't because I thought he was bad. He was just disappointing to my standards a little bit. But it's the problem with these tight games. I get really nitpicky because I know how these work. One bad bounce and all your hard work is gone. But makes a great play to pick up the loose puck. Yeah, I mean, just another pretty solid game. Eventually, I would hope that the Avs start scoring goals. If they can get a win and score 4 goals against the Nashville Predators, that would be absolutely perfect. Just perfect. 4 goals. That's all I'm asking for. 4 goals and a win. Go into the holiday break on a high note, feeling good about yourselves. That's all I want for Christmas. It's a 4-goal win for the Avs. So yeah, I'll see you then. It'll definitely be it'll be an interesting podcast because I'm playing. So the game will happen, and then I'm doing a skate for my dad's adult league team right after. So that podcast will either be very late or on Christmas Eve. But I'll see you then. Have a good day, everybody. Overtime stresses me out. Stay warm. Stay frosty. Whatever. I'm not going to make